So, welcome to our Friday and end of this week on the instructions on mindfulness of the body. And strictly speaking, the way that I was taught mindfulness in Burma at the place called the Mahasi Center, we weren't practicing exactly mindfulness of the body. That wasn't precisely the description. More precisely, we were practicing sensory awareness. There was a referencing almost everything you experienced to how it was felt in the body in terms of sensations. And it was a wonderful adventure because so many of things that go on, even thinking, which the thinking itself might be disembodied, but the process of thinking, the energy of thinking, the pressure of thinking can have a physical component. Emotions, we probably wouldn't even know what emotions we're having unless they were somehow connected to our body and body sensations that we feel. And so to refer everything back to the body, to the sensations that make it up. Now, today I'd like to offer you a little different way of practicing what I've taught so far this week. And that is to have a centering or a home base in the breathing. But you don't have to stay there for very long. Don't feel like you have to kind of develop concentration on the breathing for this exercise. But rather it's the default. You come back to it regularly. And maybe it's only 3 or 4 breaths. It could be longer if it's enjoyable to do so. And then you let the awareness take in some sensation in your body, perhaps the strongest sensation in your body, or if you've already recognized that a few times, to recognize something else. Whatever, and one way to do it is just whatever comes to you. If you open your awareness to the body, what sensations come into view? And then know them, feel them, like we exercised a few days ago, like feeling the hand. Feel that place of your body. Take it in. But in both of these, the breathing and the sensations, see if the thinking mind can be quiet enough that it's not projecting its ideas on what's happening. Ideas can give rise to a feeling of permanence or constancy. But if we can feel or sense instead, make a sensory awareness exercise out of it, then with the breathing you'll see that there's a flow or kaleidoscope of different sensations that come and go on inhales and exhales. The sensations of inhale are different than those of the exhale. And to kind of just take those in. And then when you bring your attention to some other part of your body, then see if you can be quiet enough in the mind, calm enough that you can start becoming aware of how those sensations are also dynamic, that they are coming in and out of, they appear and disappear, come in and out of awareness. They move, they shift, they dance. It's fascinating to get really clear or lucid awareness of some strong sensation and see that it's not constant. It's kind of flowing and moving and jumping around in all kinds of ways. And And then the way to move between the breath and something else, then back to the breath, then something else in the body, back to the breath, is to do so in a very calm, flowing way, like you're just kind of moving in a relaxed way, natural way between them. And the reference point that I like for that is if your eyes are looking at something, anything, maybe a mountain or the sea or a river going by or something in your room, and your eyes are just roaming gently, landing on something and then floating away to the next thing, landing on something, floating away. And there's a ease or relaxation in how awareness flows. And here we're flowing to the breathing, then flowing to a body sensation, flowing to the breathing and feeling maybe 3 or 4 breaths. And then the length of time that you are with that breathing, when you flow to a body sensation, you're with maybe that's all the length of time you're there. And if it's a painful sensation, knowing that you're just doing this briefly can be very helpful, because you don't have to get stuck on it or reactive to it. Just tapping in, kind of like just being present for it, like touching it with a soft cotton ball. Just, I'm here, a few breaths feeling it, and then going back to the breathing. So assuming a meditation posture and gently closing your eyes. And becoming more established here and now in your body by taking some long, deep breaths. And then to let your breathing return to normal. But continuing, maybe on the inhale, feeling tension holding in your body. And the exhale, relaxing the body. And then settling into how the body experiences breathing. And the areas of your body where breathing occurs. There too, as you exhale, relax that whole area. Soften the breathing process. And then to begin the practice of today, maybe you can do a 3-breath journey, staying with the breathing closely and in a friendly, soft way. And then after those 3 or 4 breaths, to let your awareness be relaxed and open to or receive the strong sensation in your body, or some sensation in your body, and feel that for 3 or 4 breaths. And then returning to your breathing. And if that is too fast for you, you can stay with your breathing longer, and stay with the sensations longer. But track yourself so that you don't get caught in thoughts or reactive. So the awareness stays soft, light. And then continue with going back and forth between breathing and sensations in your body. But as long as it's comfortable to stay with one, you feel like you're well connected and not becoming distracted, stay with the breathing or stay with the sensations. Maybe until there's a clarity to know that now it's time to switch. Something else needs the attention now. Back to the breathing, or back to some sensation. Maybe it's not that the mind moves, attention moves, which is a metaphor anyway, but rather that awareness doesn't move, it just receives. Sometimes it receives breathing, sometimes sensations. So the mind is soft and relaxed. And when the thinking mind becomes quieter, so we can sense more fully or deeper, see if you can notice how sensations are changing, shifting, moving, pulsing, flickering in and out. And if it's easy enough, let go, relax any holding or fixating of attention, any contraction or pressure or tension in the mind, especially in relationship to breathing or sensations doing this practice. When you switch from breathing to sensations, sensations to breathing, let it be a welcome occasion to let go. Let go of any holding or fixation. And then, coming to the end of the sitting, as if the curtains are pulled, let your awareness now take in, be aware of the wider world with an awareness, with an attention, which is relaxed and peaceful as possible, easeful attention for the world. Gaze upon the world with goodwill. Wishing that the practice of mindfulness that you're doing will benefit the people in your life, people in your communities, your society, and the whole world. And may it be that all of us here in this meditation collectively benefit a few people, even in small ways, on this day. And so collectively we have a huge effect on the world, spreading care, goodness, generosity. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings everywhere be free. Thank you. So, my friends, so this is the last talk on this having to do with instructions on mindfulness of the body. And next time will be mindfulness of emotions. I was reminded yesterday by someone that she had asked me many years ago for some books to read on Buddhism. And I had told her that the only book she needed to read was the book of her own body. And apparently this was made a very good impact on this woman, this practitioner. So the idea that our body is a book to study. The body has information, has wisdom. Everything you need to know about Buddhism can be found in your own body. And the meditation practice that I did in Burma, when I was really learned this Vipassana practice, was, as I've said, was a sensory awareness practice more than anything else. Certainly we were mindful of the mind and mind states and mind activity, but there was this default to always feel and sense how it is physically, the sensory level of it. And part of the advantage of that is that sensations are not thoughts. Thoughts and ideas and stories and concepts is often where we live, or it's often the filter through which we see our experience. And so we see things a little askew because of those ideas we have, those concepts. And even simply having a concept of something, the concept can have a kind of enduring quality. A concept is like Platonic concepts are unchanging. And so there's a kind of feeling that things can, and if we see through that filter, it can feel like, oh, nothing changes. And so if you see your friend always through the filter of some difficult experience you had 10 years ago, then you're not seeing how the friend is changing or different every day or every occasion and every minute and every hour. But you're stuck in that lens, that perspective. So to begin meditation, where we begin quieting and calming the mind and settling in and getting somewhat concentrated or still, the purpose is not just to become calm, but rather to be able to have a kind of more lucid awareness of the sensations of our direct experience, unmediated by these concepts. Concepts, ideas might still come into play. They might be there as part of the bigger picture, but they're not the lens through which we're seeing. And we're able to perceive or to feel much more directly the direct sensory experience. And then to begin seeing how that is shifting and moving. Seeing the inconstant, impermanent, shifting, changing nature of sensations has two major benefits that I can think of. One is that the tendency to fixate on something has usually a lot to do with holding things in a kind of permanence, or thinking things are permanent, or trying to make them permanent, trying to make things as they are. And when things are shifting and moving, it's more likely like we realize we can't quite grab them or hold on to them, or kind of begin relaxing the grip. And this is one of the reasons why breathing is so relaxing for some people, is that the rhythm of breathing in and out is constantly shifting and changing, and it's settling, it's opening, and it's a kind of focal point for the mind not to get tight or straining, as it might be with it when it's thinking about plans or resentments or desires or hostilities we have. When it's thinking about things from the perspective of our conceit. And so to begin loosening up the ways in which we're stuck by breathing helps things to relax. So the same thing with the sensations of the body. If we start feeling difficult sensations, pain, for example, as shifting and changing sensations, then the extra added lens of reactivity, of judgments, of fears, of projection into the future, it's always going to be like this, begins to soften and relax as well. And so that's one advantage, is that it's easier to relax, to let go, and to kind of just be with the river of change within us. The second benefit is that when we're just at that sensory awareness level of our experience, the sensation level, we're not imposing our desires, we're not imposing our expectations or our concepts or ideas. And so it gives more room for those sensations to be themselves. If we're tense in some way, or say like I'm angry and I'm making a fist, if I stay looking at whatever is, thinking about whatever I'm angry with, the fist stays clenched. But if I feel the tightness in the fist, feel how tired the hand is becoming, feeling the pain of the clenching, just feel it closely. and start feeling it more as shifting, changing sensations. Sometimes my little finger, sometimes my thumb, sometimes the back of my hand, sometimes the palm of my hand. My fingernails going into it is very sharp. The stretching on the back of my hand. Feeling all those sensations, something begins relaxing there, softening. The natural tendency for the clenched hand to release has room now to relax. And it doesn't have that room to relax if I stay seeing the situation with anger. So there's something about creating that this awareness of sensations, sensory awareness stuff, is allows things to be makes it's like, kind of like giving room for things to move towards health, things to begin flowing and moving in the way they should. And the amazing thing is that those things that are a byproduct of tension, a byproduct of clinging or holding, strain, attachment, those things begin to dissolve. And those things that are a byproduct of an openness, of a generosity, of kindness, of emptiness, spaciousness, those things begin to grow. And this wonderful movement that the things that cause suffering, things that have to do with attachment, begin to dissolve if we make space for things and room for things. And like the clenched hand begins to relax. The open hand and the sensitivity of the open hand, this gesture here, mudra here, in Buddhism, it means that Buddha does sometimes is a gesture of friendliness. And the gesture of the open hand pointing down is a gesture of safety, offering safety to people. And so there's something happens with the open hand, something releases. And so in this process of feeling and sensing and discovering our body in a deeper way, the sensations, and not being stuck on anything, but being open and receptive, something begins shifting in our body, shifting in our heart, shifting in our minds. And because the body is so closely connected to the mind and the heart, as the body changes, so the mind changes. As the body relaxes and softens, so the heart does the same. So in this sense, reading the book of your body is so profound, so significant. The body, in some ways, the experienced body, the body that we experience, to a great degree, how we experience is influenced by our thoughts, our minds, our judgments, our priorities, a selectivity process, that we select what to pay attention to, maybe based on our desires, our fears, our conceits. And so to stop making these selectivity process, but allow it to open up, is really great. There are some schools of vipassana, insight meditation, where they do body scans, systematic, going through different parts of the body over and over again, and so that the whole body steadily over time is visited with this kind of generous attention, and seeing and feeling and making room for that part of the body to show itself and be seen and maybe relax or unfold in a good way. In the tradition that I teach in, we don't generally do the body scan systematically, but it's more like we have the idea is that the body knows what needs attention. So the basic instruction is to let the breathing be the default, if that works for you, and develop mindfulness on the breathing, develop attention on the breathing, develop concentration on the breathing. And breathing is a shifting, changing, flowing series of sensations. So a lot of the benefits of just doing the sensory awareness practice can be right there with the breathing. But if some other sensation becomes more predominant, then the idea is to switch your attention from the breathing to that predominant sensation in your body. and just be with it as long as it seems to need attention, and be present for it and feel it. So when it's acknowledged enough, or it's shifted and changes and it kind of faded away or become less strong, then go back to the breathing. And so it's a little bit random where the mind might go, what part of the body might speak. Over a long period of time, much of the body gets our attention, but it's not done systematically. The body knows what you need attention to. And so this idea that the wisdom of the body operates, whether that's literally always true, I don't know, but it's a wonderful attitude that, oh, the body knows what needs attention now. So rather than saying, oh no, this shouldn't be happening, oh no, I shouldn't have this pain, oh no, I shouldn't have these sensations, the idea when we do this practice is, oh yes, the body is speaking to me now. The body is saying, here, now this needs attention. And you don't make it any more complicated than that, the interpretation, but just a very different attitude. The body knows, and then feel and be with it, and then come back to your breathing. If there's a lot of strong sensations of the body, maybe there's a long time before you come back to your breathing, that you would just kind of maybe go from one sensation to another and just tap into them and be with them for a while. And when in doubt, come back to your breathing, be with your breathing. And if breathing is not a good object for home base for you, then some people's home base is just body sensations all over the body, and just kind of gently letting the attention just flow and move between the different parts of the body as the body speaks and shows you what needs your attention. So, thank you. So this last week talking about breathing, and this week about the body, is very important in many ways, but for what's coming, it's extremely important as a reference point, as a basis, a foundation for practicing mindfulness of emotions and mindfulness of thinking, which is also coming. We can be more wisely present for emotions if we're really grounded in the body. So I won't be here next week. I'm going on retreat, and I'm delighted that Nikki Mirgafori is coming to teach next week. Wonderful teacher here, and it's been substituting for me regularly on this YouTube teaching. And so you're in good hands. And then when I come back, I'll pick up the series on Introduction to Mindfulness with Mindfulness of Emotions. So thank you all very, very much. And if you'd like some homework during this time, I would encourage you to review what we did this week about mindfulness of the body and the homeworks of different days that we did, just kind of to deepen your appreciation, deepen your connection to your body for this next 10 days while I'm gone, and see if you can become a much more better friend with your body, well connected. Thank you.